overtime on the road in the Pacific Northwest.
Picked up in the end zone, going the other way. This is going to be 100-yard pick six.
And Baltimore's going to run this back. You cannot be serious.
Hand off Letsky. He doesn't care. He's going to try to have a juke here. He's got open field in front of him. Down the left sideline.
Six. The tip drill works for Baltimore. Back the other way they go. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Is on his way.
Oh my goodness, it's an embarrassment of riches.
And he's in. Touchdown, Baltimore. A TD for T-Roy.
Let's push. Touchdown, Florida.
Baltimore walks it off.
Welcome inside the SFL Championship Game pregame show alongside London star wide receiver Mike St. Green and regular SFL analyst and the Hall of Famer Damon Simeon, Houston team owner, and DR Sim on the field as well. Gentlemen, welcome in.
Hey, Eric. Good to be here, man. Excited to be here.
How's it going, Eric? I'm pretty sure you can tell from the smile on my face, man, that I am super, super excited about what's about to happen here in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're all excited here. This is a storied matchup, a matchup for the ages that we have coming up here. And it's the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed once again. And, we're very excited to see how this is all going to pan out here today.
Yeah, Eric, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better matchup, actually, today. These are two of the better teams, as you mentioned, in the entire SFL, and not only this season, but historically, and in particular, right now, both of these teams are, white hot in the way they've been playing. Florida, they've won their last 10 games, including the 2 games in the playoffs to get here today, and the Baltimore Vultures, they've been excellent as well. They've won 13 of their last 14 games to get here, so this is going to be a great matchup.
Damon, what's your take on the matchup here today?
It's going to be crazy, man. Florida has had Baltimore's number over the years. This has basically been Baltimore's Achilles heels is the Florida Storm, also known as the Alaska Storm. Coming into this game, this is their first time meeting in championship contention. So I basically am going to call this one as probably a defensive game because both teams have pretty good defenses. Florida Mighty is known for his defense, and Baltimore with TJ and with T-Pat over there, those guys know offense and defense pretty darn well. So I'm going to say this was a close game here, but man, I'm just ready for the action to start. Let's go.
Oh, I know. We're all antsy for this one to start up, man. It's been a wild playoffs. As you can see by the playoff graphic there, the bracket leading up to this point, Baltimore barely getting in. Really, we had close games throughout the playoffs, which is just fantastic for the league and fantastic for all the teams and owners. So we're definitely looking forward to this one. Again, a 1-2 matchup. Baltimore hosting their first championship game in league history, team history, I should say. And there's a lot of irony coming in this. Florida is back in the championship game after losing just a season ago to Denver off that walk-off field goal, that legendary Kramer-Jackman walk-off field goal. And then Baltimore getting ousted from the playoffs a season ago by this same Florida Storm team. And you touched on it, Damon. Florida has kind of had Baltimore's number coming into this matchup here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been just outstanding on the Storm, to be able to have that type of control over Baltimore the way they have. And I'm pretty sure that Baltimore really wants to go ahead and correct that today, in the SFL championship game.
Mike St. Green, what say you?
Yeah, Baltimore, as you mentioned, last week, 45-44 win over Mexico City, barely getting in. Excellent, miracle comeback in that game, under 2 minutes, down 9, ended up scoring a touchdown, getting a onside kick and driving down and getting a last-second game-winning field goal to get to this point today. But Florida, basically 2 hard-fought games to get here. Tight game against Arizona last week and another tough game against Charleston in the quarterfinal round to get here. Florida typically likes to play solid defense. ball control on offense. I look for a lot of Bullet Boletsky on offense today. They're going to need to try to keep the ball out of this great Baltimore offense's hands. But can they handle it if Baltimore offensively? Yeah, I think they can. They're going to have to take Ivory Irving out of this game today. Typically, when we see a Baltimore team on the field or we see Ivory Irving on the field, he just looks like the best player on the team. Can that Florida defense come up with a game plan to take him out of the game and make someone else beat him? We'll see here in a little bit.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the tail of the tape, gentlemen, since we're talking about X's and O's and ins and outs here. And, man, again, just what more can you say? I mean, this is a great matchup. This will be a championship game for the ages, we hope. On paper, it certainly looks that way. What's that jumps out on you on the page here? Demond, I'll start with you. Well, let's go to Mike St. Green. While Demond. Oh, there we go. There's Demond. All right.
I was muted, bro. I mean, you look at the first statistic there, all-time win percentage. These two teams are number 1 and number 2 there. So that means let you know that they know how to win ball games. Also, let's do not take for granted that these two teams also, on the defensive side of the ball, know how to take the ball away from their opposing team, their opposing opponent. I mean, this is going to be a game to see. And we know Baltimore loves to throw that thing deep. But Florida loves to take it away, So let's see how that happens, how that works out.
Mike St. Green, what about you, my friend?
Oh, yeah, definitely historically two of the best teams ever in this league. And they're both have proven it on the field. Baltimore season 15 champs. Florida, they're in their 5th championship game, winning 3. So, yeah, we're going to see a heavyweight matchup. This is no doubt about it. I mean, who else in this league can possibly lay claim to being 1 and 2, and here Florida basically last-second field goal last season from going after their 5th championship this season. So the numbers bear that out. Both these teams have definitely earned the right to be here this season. Baltimore coming in with only 1 loss, Florida only 2. We're going to see a matchup for the ages, I think, here today, Eric.
Yeah, and both these teams just so even as far as the numbers go. Really, the only thing that kind of jumps out at you a little bit is the turnover differential between these two teams. And I mean, it's not even close. It's plus 20 in favor of the Baltimore Vultures, still plus 8 for Florida, which is pretty darn good. But I mean, total takeaways, you're looking at 46 takeaways for this Baltimore Vultures defense. That's insane. So it's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for the Florida Storm offense to get going, especially through the air. So I think you're right, Mike St. Green. We might see more Bullet Boletsky on the ground. He's had over 1,000 yards. He's been very successful running the ball. Might not see a massive air attack here today. So let's go ahead and get into game plans here. What is one key to victory for both Baltimore and Florida? And I will start with you, Demond.
Yes, I'm going to say 3rd down percentage. The team that can win 3rd down basically comes away with victory here today. You can win 3rd down, keep the chains moving, do not get behind the chains and down in distance. I think that team wins the game. And also, whoever wins time of possession, as Mike has stated, Boletsky, if they can get that run game going with him, speaking of the Florida Storm, pretty sure that they can start winning that time of possession. And that's one thing that they love to do. They love to move down the field methodically and not in such of a hurry to force turnovers or so. But I believe that, the team that wins that 3rd down percentage wins this game.
I tend to agree with Demond on the ball control aspect of the game, but I think that part of it is going to be more important for Florida. Baltimore can strike very quickly. They don't need to have the ball in time of possession a lot to make a difference in the ball game. They can find Ivory Irving, Mac Chima, Lloyd Graham Jr. Jimmy Hazard, the rookie running back, has come on here very good, great late in the season. So ball control is not going to be as important to Baltimore, but it's going to be extremely important for Florida. But that's also one key, but I think one of the biggest keys to this game for it to go in Florida's favor, the defensive line and front 7 are going to have to put pressure on quarterback Jack Wigmore, maybe pull off a few sacks, but just make him uncomfortable in the pocket to where he cannot look downfield and find those great receivers that he likes to hit. I mean, Jack Whitmore is a walking 400-yard per game quarterback. Control Jack Whitmore in the pocket, maybe come away with a few sacks, just pressure him enough to get the timing off, and that'll be a key for Florida today.
Yeah, and that's going to be a major key, I think, for sure, is getting pressure on the quarterback. You look just a season ago, Baltimore getting eliminated by this same Florida Storm team. Jack Whitmore threw 2 picks, and he was sacked 3 times in that ball game. They lost by 14 points. So in order for Florida to get the ball rolling, I think they do need to get some pressure on Whitmore, and that will get things going for their defense. On the other side of the ball, 3 defensive linemen for Baltimore. They've got 10-plus sacks. I mean, it's hard to argue with that sort of production. So it's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for Cochran to stand in the pocket with that sort of pressure, which is why I think we'll see Bullet Beletsky a little bit more. Tail of the tape, obviously, you guys touched on it. Baltimore, a little bit more pass happy, a little bit more of that air raid attack, and Florida is going to have more of a ground attack. Defensively, what do we think we're going to see here? Do you think? Let me backtrack. In order for these teams to win the game, what do each defense have to do here?
Well, I just touched a little bit on what Florida's defense is, definitely going to have to do. So I'll basically touch on what Baltimore has to do in this game. As you mentioned, a great defensive line. They're led by Sir Ron Yates. He comes into this game with 19 sacks on the season. One more, give him 20. Giovanni Bolt, the great safety, he has 15 interceptions on the season, but he's also supported by Troy Loshaw, been stacking paper in that secondary. Great linebacking core. This is a complete defense and complete team, but the defensively, they're going to definitely pressure Ron Cochran. He's going to more likely want to get the ball out quickly, as you mentioned, to Beletsky and employ maybe a short passing game, which we've seen them do a little bit here in the playoffs, and maybe try to get some of those ball hawking safeties and corners, on that, just on their toes a little bit, and just want to play the short control game. But the defense for Baltimore definitely want to put pressure on Cochran and create some turnovers with that great secondary.
Come on, Simeon.
Yeah, I agree with Mike there, Eric, is that Baltimore basically is gonna have to play some real great defense when you go facing against this Florida Storm offense. Now, here's the question here. Does Baltimore comes out and basically a quarters defense? Or should they come out in some type of cover 2 versus Florida? Florida doesn't throw the ball deep as much, so I would suggest that Baltimore comes out and plays particular cover 2 or probably 3 strong or 3 weak or so, and that aspect of the defense. I don't think Baltimore should come out playing quarters, playing deep, because that's not the style of offense that Florida runs. Now, on the other end, Baltimore loves to go deep. We all know that, right? So Florida most likely will have to go quarters or cover 12, or probably even go, bump to bump man coverage there. But those 2 guys on the outside, the Z and the wide receivers for Baltimore, man, will cook you. You know what I'm saying? So it's, Florida got the handful on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm pretty sure that they can get it done. They're a very good, great defensive team, should I say. But it's just an aspect to your question, Eric, is that, what type of defense do they run? And I think that the Florida Storm most definitely will have to come out playing quarters this game.
All right, very quickly, because we're up against the clock, gentlemen, got to get you out to beautiful Baltimore here today. Final predictions for the score here today. Mike St. Green, I'll start with you.
I'll go Florida 24-20.
Damond.
I'm gonna go Baltimore, and I'm gonna say 34-28 Baltimore.
There you have it, folks. We'll go ahead and we'll send you out to Baltimore right after this commercial break. You are watching the SFL Championship Game pregame live on Next Level Sports and for the fans. Stay with us.
You've got a vulture's eye view of the Baltimore Museum of Art, fitting on a day where we'll see two artists of this beautiful game paint Season 17's final picture. This is the 17th SFL Championship game from pristine Vultures Stadium on an absolutely perfect 55-degree day for football. Hello, everyone. Alongside Josh Zirkle, I'm Cameron Irvine. Tyler Falk is on the sidelines. Josh, what say you on this championship Saturday? And how the players feel. Both of these teams had very interesting routes on their way to the postseason. Baltimore nearly ran the table, won their first 11 games before dropping their regular season finale to London. Florida went 2-2. They weren't even sure they were going to be here, yet here they are, Cam. Let's get this party started. All right, and before we get there, today's aerial coverage provided by Dags Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services in New York State. Find them on Instagram at Dags Drone Works or visit their website, dagsdroneworks.com. Let's go to the sideline, Tyler Falk.
Thanks, Cam. The word on the sideline for Florida is unfinished business. They were knocked out of the championship game on a last-second field goal from Kramer Jackman. They want to avenge their comrades from a season ago, and for Baltimore, their key to victory for them is to take the ball away, and they've been the best team to do it all season. We'll see what happens here in the championship game.
Thank you, Tyler. Kickoff is coming up next here on Next Level Sports and for the fans. Jack's Data, the analytical arm of the SFL, has Baltimore's a 3.5-point favorite today. The over-under is 64.5. Your kicker for Florida is Ethan Sneed. He has the ball on the tee and the hand in the air. Let's go, kick it. We're underway in the Season 17 championship game. Giovanni Bolt on the return from his own goal line, and we'll get it. He fumbled the ball. It's picked up by Florida on the opening kickoff. Florida gets the football, recovered by Stanley Nordellis. Unbelievable. Giovanni Bolt, one of the biggest weapons in the special team game in any team. Fumbling the opening kickoff. That is just absolutely astounding. Florida knew they had to make big plays. They knew they had to get some turnovers, and they get one right out of the gate. Boom, right there. That's Paulie Truth, the rookie, playing special teams, jarring the ball loose for Giovanni Bolt, and now Florida cooking with the offense coming out of the field for the first time. What a start for Florida on the offensive side of the football. Red helmet, or on the defensive side rather, red helmets, white jerseys, dark blue pants for Florida. And it's Ron Cochran to start things off, and Cochran's going to be sacked in the backfield. Nate Brown gets to the quarterback, and on that note, let's meet the Baltimore defense.
Tucker Lewis, defensive tackle, Kenner, Louisiana.
Defensive tackle, coming out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Vultures, Circle.
Teron the Chef Yates, the fourth, Columbus, Ohio, defensive tackle.
Number 42, inside linebacker, Frankfurt Will Smith, Atlanta, Georgia.
Keenan Samuels, outside linebacker, San Diego, California.
Alvin Mack, linebacker, Long Beach, California.
Marvin Hodge, cornerback, Rochester, New York.
Pen Stack and Paper, cornerback, Northfield, Massachusetts.
Austin Brigham, cornerback, Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Giovanni Bolt, free safety, Newark, New Jersey.
Troy Loshaw, Trenton, Ontario, Canada.
Those are your Baltimore Impact defensive players, real players from all around the country competing on the virtual gridiron right now after the 8-yard loss on the Nate Brown sack of Ron Cochran. It's 2nd down and 18 at the 27-yard line. That pass over the middle is incomplete. Varian Zarkov was the intended receiver, and it's quickly 3rd and 18.
Yeah, Cochran doesn't want to be too aggressive here. You want to get some points on the board, basically a free possession. After Paulie Truth forcing the fumble on Giovanni Bolt. It's 3rd and 18. You're well within the field goal range of Ethan Sneed. Don't do anything too crazy here.
3rd down and 18 at the 27-yard line. 4 receivers. Cochran is going long down the near side. Wow. Caught, touchdown! E.J. Minson, with the score. It's 6-0 Florida. I'm thinking of E.K. Vincent in the pregame. It's E.J. Minson with the touchdown.
And Minson getting a chance at a one-on-one ball, going head-to-head, and comes up with the ball. The defender overplayed, trying to get the ball instead of playing the man. And Minson just saunters into the end zone right when I'm telling Ron Cochran not to get too aggressive on third and very long. He throws a touchdown to E.J. Minson. Florida on the board first.
Man, I should have thought about that during our staffing meeting. That is just not fair to my brain right now. But Florida explodes it and gets on the board first after recovering a Giovanni Bolt fumble on the opening kickoff. And the Storm now leads 7-0. What a start in the first 42 seconds for Florida.
Oh, my goodness. You sit down, you get ready to call a game, and my head is already spinning away from my headset. So much action already happening here. We're not even out of the first minute of the game, Cam.
So Giovanni Bolt and the Baltimore offense will try again. As Snead boots it away. This one 2 yards deep in the end zone. This Baltimore crowd a little hushed after that start. Ron Cochran gets the offense started for Florida. He is no stranger to the championship game. Josh Zirkel, a 3-time winner.
Yeah, an outstanding, just a tremendous talent here in the SFL. And trying to do it one more time here. You get all this way. Even if you don't win this game, it's still a good season for you, but that's not the mentality right now. The mentality right now is to win.
First and 10 at the 21-yard line as Wigmore flips it out to Jimmy Hazard. He's wrestled down by Evan Carroll, and that gives us a chance to meet the Florida defense.
Deontay Stoneville, defensive end, the Ohio State.
Alessandro Tomello, defensive end, Venice, Italy.
Stephen Black, inside linebacker, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Eric Hammer, linebacker, Dallas, Texas.
Ryan Davidson, cornerback for Coraton, Florida.
Evan Carroll, cornerback, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Adam Jones, cornerback, number 48, Pensacola, Florida.
Ryan Tobin, free safety, Omaha, Nebraska.
Andrew A.J. Francis, strong safety, out of Deerfield.
Marcus Agrippa, punter, Philadelphia.
Punters are people too, Josh, and haven't seen him yet, but Agrippa's the best in the game to do it.
And he's a real game changer, Cam. Capable of flipping the field, pitting the opposing offense deep. Get your popcorn ready when that guy comes out.
Second down and 10, no yard gain to Hazard. 2 in the backfield for Jack Wigmore, and this time he'll run it to Hazard. Hazard makes a man miss and almost broke off a tackle. Excellent job by Eric Hammer cleaning up the play on the back end, a pickup of 7.
Yeah, I think that was Ryan Davidson that actually got penetration behind the line, and Hazard, who is not really known for his running ability per se, to say less of him as a complete player, making a miss, getting positive yardage, getting his team into a 3rd and medium.
3rd and 3 at the 28. 2 receivers, 1 to either side for Wigmore. He'll fire it out. That's Ivory Irvin. Dangerous target. Picks up the first down for Baltimore. Let's meet the Baltimore Impact players on offense.
Jack Wigmore, quarterback, Arlington, Virginia.
Jimmy Adler, Newport News, running back.
T. Roy Gaines, fullback, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Ivory Irvin, wide receiver, DMV.
Daley Holder, wide receiver, Brooklyn, New York.
Matt Chima, wide receiver, Washington, D.C.
Lloyd Graham, tight end, number 83, Sacramento, California.
Jark Tarkington, kicker, Logansport, Indiana.
Fresh set of downs for Baltimore off the Irvin catch to the 32-yard line.
A lot of Ohio folks on both sides of the ball for both teams, Cam. Buckeye State representing here in the 17th title game. Always nice to see. Appreciate those guys getting those introductions in. It really adds something to our broadcast.
9 minutes to go as Wigmore will flip it out to Hazard. Hazard picked up a block late, but Florida, they're quickly to swarm to the football. Ryan Tobin and Evan Carroll in the vicinity of 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's one of the keys to success for SFL defenses is defensive backs coming up and playing the run and making the point of attack at the line of scrimmage instead of 3 or 4 yards down the field. Jimmy Hazard probably needed 1 or maybe 2 more extra blocks to get positive yardage there, and he couldn't get it.
Handoff to Hazard up the middle. Going to pick up 4. Baltimore's shown an ability to get Hazard involved early.
Yeah, north and south, east and west. Only one throw to the receiver so far. That went to Irvin. And Jack Wigmore, who is known for setting opposing defenses on fire. 7 games, over 400 yards passing, really pacing himself here in the early going.
3rd down and 4 at the 37-yard line. As Wigmore drops 3 steps again, we'll dump it off to Hazard. And again, Hazard, not a lot of room there. Eric Hammer shuts it down. Surprising that Baltimore has not tried to go deeper on Florida, but maybe that's out of respect for the Storm defense, and Baltimore's going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, when they faced Mexico City last week, Cam, facing 3 rookies, although you don't want to call them rookies, in the postseason, they played an entire year. This Florida secondary, no spring chickens, 38 years combined experience, 187 career interceptions for that group.
From the 27-yard line, this is Justice Blackwell on the return. Gets it up to the Florida 30. And we have an injury. That's Marvin Himes in the secondary. Baltimore is off to a brutal beginning here.
Yeah, and Himes is not a guy you want to lose, especially when you're facing Ron Cochran.
He pulled up limp there at the beginning of the play.
Just goes down in a heap. Himes, 4th-year cornerback, 6'1", 208, 4 interceptions on the season. And when you're facing a talented Florida offense that has 3 wide receivers and 2 talented tight ends, talking about Veritas Zarkov and Pauly Truth, you cannot have any losses there. Baltimore certainly hopes that Himes gets back on the field soon.
First down and 10 for Florida. Dump off to Beletsky, makes a couple of moves and picks up 7 on the tackle on the back end for Baltimore. That's Frank Smith and Alvin Mack, 2nd and 3.
And Beletsky, not only the star runner for this Florida offense, also their leading receiver, 95 targets for them, and also had 93 receptions. That was good enough for 12th on the SFL leaderboard. That includes wide receivers, tight ends, and everybody else.
2nd down, heavy set, 2 in the backfield. Beletsky is pounced on in the backfield. A 2-yard loss. That's Tucker Lewis making the play to set up a 3rd down and 5 for Florida's offense.
Tucker Lewis with 13 tackles for loss in the regular season. Gets a nice jump here, shrugs off the defender, and Beletsky can't get out of first gear before Tucker Lewis is right in his lap. Great defensive play for Baltimore, forcing 3rd down.
You can see the stats from our game all day long at the bottom of your screen. That was Beletsky's first carry and had that 7-yard reception thanks to Mark Lopez and Zach Haldorf in the stats truck today. Beletsky is going to be dropped, and I can already tell this is going to be a pretty defensive game, at least in the first half. Al Walker with the takedown.
Absolutely. After Tucker Lewis, the defensive end on the other side, Al Walker, the 3rd-year man, 6'3", 286. And he had a nice regular season as well, 18 tackles for loss. And bring Beletsky down, and get your popcorn ready, Cam. Here comes Marcus Agrippa.
And Bolt on the other end of it. Giovanni against 2 Florida defenders, and Bolt can't make either of them miss. Gets it up to the 26-yard line with 5:50 to go in the first half. Well, with that, we welcome you into the broadcast booth. I'm Cameron Irvine. There I am. Play-by-play. Josh Zirkle is our analyst. We'll get him on camera shortly, but happy to have you here for the 17th SFL Championship game, the first ever being hosted by Baltimore, Maryland. It's 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Hand off to Jimmy Hazard. He picks up 4. Tackle made by Hammer will bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Really a big part of the Baltimore offense philosophy, at least so far, has been to bring Jimmy Hazard in between the tackles, establish that north-south running game. And he and Troy Gay's not exactly a thunder and lightning combination. Almost 2-to-1. Hazard's been getting more for Gaines, who stepped aside to bring Hazard in, who's had a fine rookie season so far.
2nd and 6 for Hazard. Another carry, and Hazard picks up nothing. Boy, Florida almost ready for it. A leg cramp for Marvin Himes. He is questionable to return. Deontay Stoneville with the tackle, but are you surprised at how much we have seen out of Jimmy Hazard early in this first quarter?
Yeah, I really am. And I thought Baltimore especially when you look at how Jack Wigmore has played during the regular season. He's a guy who basically did whatever he wanted to with the football over the course of the regular season. 4,400 yards, 40 touchdown passes. That was tops in the SFL, and now finally unleashing the dragon here. And maybe they're just setting up the pass.
Yeah,
they complete one to Daly Holder.
It may be so. Daly Holder with his first catch of the ball game. That goes for 11 yards and gets a first down to the 41-yard line. If you're just joining us, Giovanni Bolt fumbled the opening kickoff, and then E.J. Minson, not to be confused with E.K. Vinson, gets the 27-yard receiving touchdown. Put Florida up 7-0. It's been all defense ever since as that pass is knocked away. Ryan Davidson in coverage, bring up second down, and that's Jack Wigmore's first incompletion of the afternoon.
And Davidson making a nice job playing the ball, showing some athleticism. 43 career interceptions for Davidson, the eighth-year cornerback. We talked about how many interceptions this Florida defense has as a group. 4 of the 5 defensive backs, Davidson, Francis, Tobin, and Carroll, have been playing together for at least 8 seasons. A lot of chemistry there.
Second down and 10 at the 41. Handoff to Hazard on the stretch right. He is picked up and thrown down by Ryan Davidson. Just a 1-yard pickup, and Davidson is slow to get up. My goodness.
Oof. Bodies are flying fast and furious out there already here in the opening quarter. We had one injury already. We certainly don't want to see any more.
Jimmy Hazard wasn't really involved in the offense last week, and you almost feel like potentially an overcorrection is being made by Baltimore. We'll see what they can do on third down and 9 as Wigmore's pass is caught in open field partially. Mac Chima gets the first down to the Florida 42-yard line. A.J. Francis cleans it up on the back end.
Yeah, and Chima and Irvin, you're going to have to figure out a way to cover both of those guys at the same time if you're Florida. And Wigmore throwing it right on a dime. Chima stretching out for it. And Davidson and Francis both there. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to double team both of those guys. Mac Chima and Ivory Irvin. Both of them went for 200 yards against Mexico City in the semifinal game last week.
First and 10 to the 42-yard line. 2 backs and 2 receivers. That's Irvin and Chima both to the top of the screen, and Wigmore's dropping back to pass. Again, hits Hazard out of the backfield. This time Hazard a lot more space. Could have been a face mask there at the end of that play, but no call. A 7-yard pickup for Hazard, already his 5th reception.
And we were talking about why would you get Hazard so much volume so often, and you can look back to the last play and sort of explain that why. You know the Florida defense is going to have to give so much attention to Ivory Irvin and Mac Chima. That's going to open things up for Jimmy Hazard, for Daly Holder, who has a catch already, and also Lloyd Graham Jr. and Troy Gaines as well.
Wigmore, second down, looking over the middle. There was some contact there. Irvin was the intended target. What say you, eye in the sky?
I think there should have been a flag there. That looked like absolute obstruction on the way to the football while it was in the air. It should have been a first down for Baltimore. Instead, it's 3rd and medium. And Baltimore on the cusp of the range of 7th-year kicker Shark Tarkington, who's been very good, has only missed once so far this season.
Baltimore's been great on third down so far in the ball game, 3 for 4. They go 3 wide here. And a quick drop back and a flip out to Daly Holder on a spot route, picks up another first down. 4 for 5 early is Baltimore's offense moving the chains.
Yeah, that makes Holder the leading receiver for Baltimore so far. Amazing when you think about it. He only had 1 catch last week and only 40 for the season. In contrast, Jimmy Hazard had more than that, almost 20% more. He had 49. And Daly Holder getting some volume here in the first quarter.
Wigmore drops to throw. That pass should have been to Chima, wide open. Instead, tried to get Lloyd Graham Jr. on his first target. Florida all over that, incomplete.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was long for Chima or short for Graham. And you see the route there. They're both right in the vicinity. Graham looking for it. Chima didn't look like he turned around to see the ball at all. Unfortunately for Graham, met contact right away. Didn't have much of a chance to bring that in.
Isn't that something? Right at the last second, Mac kind of was like, what was that? Wasn't looking for it at all, as you said. Good defense there by Florida. Wigmore now 8 of 11 for 46 yards. 4 of those receptions to Hazard as Wigmore takes what Florida gives him. Lloyd Graham pays the price for it. A.J. Francis comes up to make the tackle, but it'll set up yet another manageable third down.
Yeah, Baltimore inching closer, certainly in field goal range now. And interesting, the last couple plays, we've seen Jack Wigmore throwing the ball instead of handing it to Jimmy Hazard, who had a lot of volume already. 5 rushes and 4 carries. Will get his 10th touch here.
Wigmore, yet another third down conversion. That's Mac Chima. First down to the 15-yard line. Now 10 of 13 for 60 yards. Wigmore's heating up.
And 4 first downs on the drive. Baltimore realizing the best defense is offense, keeping Ron Cochran and Charlie Boletsky on the sideline as they continue to work down the field here late in the first quarter.
This is the 12th play of the current drive. 59 yards. Mostly through the air. And another completion there will pick up another couple of yards. Baltimore is staying ahead of the sticks, no doubt.
Yeah, and Hazard really had a chance to turn that upfield. If Wigmore would have gotten him the ball just a little bit sooner. Had a lot of area. Unfortunately, 2 steps too close to the sideline. A short gain, it could have been a little bit more.
Just 5 yards on 3 runs on this drive. Play number 14 coming up for Baltimore. As Wigmore will dump this off to Hazard, and Hazard is dropped in the backfield. And that is
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones out of the slot. Of course, Baltimore missing their slot corner right now. Marvin Himes out with some cramping, questionable to return, but first 3rd and long here in a while for Baltimore.
And if there is a spring chicken in this Florida secondary, it's Adam Jones, the 3rd-year corner, and he's going to get a lot of volume. He's out of here on the field already. A big 3rd down for Florida.
Empty 5 wide against the dime. Under a minute to go in the first. They take a check down going the wrong way. Was Daly Holder out of the slot, and that's going to be another red zone stop. Florida best in the business at doing that, and Shark Tarkington will have to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, Baltimore getting conservative there. Daly Holder knew he wasn't going to get the first down, knew he was going to get drilled, heard the footsteps coming while the ball was on the way, and winced a little bit as he caught the football, but did hang on and makes his field goal from Tarkington a little bit easier of an attempt.
A 30-yard chip shot for Shark Tarkington. That field goal is up and good, and Baltimore is on the board here in the championship game. Baltimore has 1 championship under their belt. They beat the Sioux Falls Sparrows in Sioux Falls as the 4 seed. That was a 4-3 matchup after 2 upsets in the semifinals. Florida was in the championship game last season but suffered a devastating loss to Denver.
In Florida, when you talk to the Storm players, this is their end game. They expect to be in the championship every season, and a lot of them expect to win the championship every season.
Justice Blackwell on the return, and Justice Blackwell's got some room and gets it out to the 38. Nice field position. Before the quarter ends, let's meet the Florida impact players on offense.
Ron Cochran, quarterback, Yonkers, New York.
Boletsky, halfback, a Big Apple.
Stephen Bush, wide receiver, Birmingham, Alabama.
E.J. Minson, wide receiver, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Justice Blackwell, wide receiver, Chicago Southside.
Barrett and Zarkov, tight end, Annapolis, Maryland.
Greg McDonaldson, offensive line, Boca Raton, Florida.
You can't forget about Paulie Truth either, who had his best game of the season in the semifinals last week in a 24-17 victory over Arizona.
Absolutely. Can't forget about Joseph Wade either, the alter ego, if you will, of Greg McDonaldson.
And there he was right there.
Both of those players.
Right on cue, right? Sitting to the right side of McDonaldson there on the left side of that very powerful offensive line. Ron Cochran starts the drive with a handoff to Bullet Boletsky, and Boletsky has his best carry of the day. Only had -1 rushing yards before that carry here in this quarter and gets the first down.
Yeah, great blocking there, especially. Wow, a couple of pancakes there by the Baltimore D-line. Boletsky, though, out of the cannon and out of the backfield very quickly. First down.
That's the end of the first quarter of the 17th SFL Championship game. It's Florida on the road, up 7-3 over the Vultures. Florida ball when we come back. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports and For the Fans. Welcome back to Vulture Stadium in Baltimore, Florida. For the 17th SFL Championship game, Florida leads Baltimore 7-3. Cochran starts the quarter out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 to the 49. Hit as he threw. Great block by Pauly Truth. And Feridun Zarkov picks up an impressive 4-yard gain on a somewhat broken play.
Yeah, it looked like that ball was intended for Truth, and Zarkov stepped right in front of him to get that. And Pauly Truth, who had 4 catches last week, Zarkov said, I only had 3 catches last week. I think I'm going to take this one first.
Well done, Feridun, keeping those numbers up as Cochran. And a great job by Pauly Truth, too, to seal the block there. 2nd and 6, Cochran fires outside. That's Stephen Bush. Picks up 4 yards to bring up 3rd and 2. Let's go to Tyler Falk down to the sidelines for a report.
Thanks, Cam. Just a brief update from both sidelines. I was able to talk to a few players from both Baltimore and Florida. Charlie Boletsky says that he'll take 7-3 every quarter. And for Baltimore, I talked with a few players, and they said, they're just getting warmed up. They started out a little slow. They're staying calm and staying confident. They look ready to go here for the second quarter.
Thanks, Tyler. 3rd down and 2 at the 44-yard line for Florida. 1 for 2 on 3rd downs in the first half. That is a laser that's intercepted. That's Frank Smith, the inside linebacker, with the pick. And Baltimore's defense comes up with their first major stand of the contest.
Yeah, brutal turnover there in first and plus territory. Frank Smith doing a nice job of patrolling that hook zone. You don't think of linebackers as great pass defenders, but when you're looking at Feridun Zarkov, Frank Smith definitely comes into play. Outstanding interception. Gets a little bit of a return on it also. Now Baltimore's got the ball back with a chance to take the lead.
10:08 to go in a fast-moving first half, but for these players, every second feels like an eternity out there. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for players all over the world trying to get a championship. Nickel look out of this defense. T-Roy Gaines lost the ball. It is recovered by Florida. It's the 2nd fumble by Baltimore in the first half. Eric Hammer recovers the fumble.
And that is unbelievable. Just you thought Baltimore was going to start cooking. There's the handoff to Gaines, the veteran, and Gaines gets blown up by the Florida secondary, balls out. And look who it is to fall on it. Eric Hammer coming up with the recovery, and now Florida is back in business.
Andrew Francis with the forced fumble. By the way, for that Florida defense already, Eric Hammer has 6 solo tackles and actually credited with that forced fumble on that previous play. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. The handoff goes to Boletsky, and Bullet Boletsky dragged down by Giovanni Bolt. After a 5-yard pickup, Boletsky up to 15 yards on 4 carries.
And this is the second drive that Florida has started in plus territory due to turnovers. We keep mentioning the fumbled kickoff return from Giovanni Bolt at the opening of the game. Florida cashed that one in for 7 points. Can they do it again here?
Heavy in the backfield for Florida. First time we've seen this. It's Minson top of the screen. The handoff to Boletsky around the other way. Stops and starts again. And Boletsky once more dragged down by Giovanni Bolt, the lone man that can stop the lightning bolt.
And Boletsky, it just does such a great, just a complete running back. A little start and stop, a little shimmy there. It's got great blocking up front. And that's what you're up against when you're facing Florida. You are facing a complete offense. They can run the ball. They can get it to their running back through the air, and they can get it to just about any other player in this offense in the air.
If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as Boletsky goes for no gain there. As real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Josh, we were calling a minor league game last night, pulling double duty in prep for this championship game. We saw Salt Lake beat Boise, and the minor league is a fun time. Over 100 players down there that haven't gotten to make their TV debut yet. Hoping to do so next season once drafted as Boletsky gets into the red zone, and we'll make it a 3rd and manageable. Alvin Mack and Frank Smith combine for the stop.
Yeah, a lot of players out here enjoying their championship experience, and we got the other side of that last night, doing a little bit of a tune-up, if you will, getting ready with an SFLM game, which is always so much fun to call. We have players not only that start the season, but also that join teams in the middle of the season, looking to make an impact there, build their draft stock, and maybe hear their names called at the next rookie draft.
Again, Boletsky near side, breaks a tackle and gets a first down. Nate Brown makes the tackle at the end of it, and By the way, did you see Nate Brown flash the ring in his player introduction earlier, Josh? I mean, that was just beautiful.
Yeah, I saw Brown do it, and Lloyd Graham Jr. was showing his a little bit in the server as well. Some outstanding jewelry. Those are Season 15 championship rings. They're looking for Season 17 hardware now.
Yeah, Boletsky got popped, and Nate Brown makes the tackle. I wish I would have had Tyler Falk on camera for his instant reaction because he almost flew out of his chair.
And Baltimore knows that they've got a hold here to keep this a one-score game. And certainly getting penetration into that backfield, getting Ron Cochran off balance here on second and long, a big part of that plan.
He's 6 for 8 for 50 yards and a touchdown to start. That pass is caught by Zarkov. Zarkov with a race to the goal line down to the 3. Giovanni Bolt, a third tackle on this drive, but Florida trying to make it a 2-score game.
And this is the problem. You could cover everybody else. Minson and Zarkov just going right there in the middle. Not exactly great coverage by Frank Smith. Zarkov running a great route. We saw Frank Smith with the INT earlier, but Zarkov wins that round, 1st and goal.
Zarkov, couple of grabs, 19 yards, 3 targets. Quiet day for Blackwell so far, does not have a reception. Handoff, this is Stanley Nordellis as Bullet Boletsky is tired, and yet another example of, as rosters expand in the SFL, why teams might want to look the way of another star back.
Well, and especially go back to that minor league game, Cam, when Douglas Brown went out in the first drive. It was John Perry, the backup halfback, that got the majority of that volume. With opportunities abound and more coming with the roster expansion to 23 next season.
2nd and goal, Boletsky, touchdown, and Florida is up 10.
Florida just pounding the rock. Boletsky looked like he got a little rest. Knew he was going to have to make a burst here at the goal line. Nice handoff there. Good block by Noel Cap, the fullback. And Boletsky just works around him, finds the end zone. And now it's a 2-score lead for the Storm.
Always interesting to find out where all these players are from. Boletsky, in his intro, said the Big Apple. Alessandro Tomaello from Italy here in Florida. So some international flair represented here today as well, as Ethan Sneed's extra point is up and good. Tyler Falk from the great state of Minnesota. So I'm from Texas, and Josh, you're down south here as well.
I just recently moved from the Yellowhammer state of Alabama, and now I'm in Southwest Ohio.
Oh, I got it backwards.
30-degree weather.
I got it backwards. I thought you had moved from Ohio to Alabama, but I was mistaken.
This time of year, I wish you'd had it forwards. It's a lot warmer in Alabama right now.
Although in Arkansas right now, it's pretty chilly. Giovanni Bolt past the 20. Nice spin move. Gets it up to the 28-yard line, and ironically, it's Nordellis who makes the tackle after he recovered the fumble to start the game. 6:10 to go in the first half. It's been a pretty dominating Florida first half. Jimmy Hazard on 11 total touches, has 25 total yards. Wigmore's been efficient, hasn't made a mistake, but Ivory Irvin with just 1 catch for 4 yards on 3 targets has really been a non-factor so far. Against this Florida nickel look, it's Wigmore tossing it out to Hazard. Hazard makes a cup. 4 people miss, including one defender twice. That was Ramel Hernandez looking foolish out there, and Hazard picks up 6. And someone ask him how many fingers they're holding up.
He's going to have to maybe, get some Dramamine. 4 spin moves there. I was waiting for an arabesque at the end to finish with a little bit of a flourish. But nice job getting it into a 2nd and medium with Hazard. My goodness, he's going to stay in the game. I'd be wanting to take a seat for a couple plays after that.
Wigmore going to throw, has a few options. Oh, what a catch! Lloyd Graham with one hand off the deflection for the first down. And they say tight ends don't have the hands.
No, that's an outstanding bit of concentration there by Lloyd Graham Jr., the 6th-year tight end. After the ball was deflected, still managed to grab it with only 5 fingers, and it moves the chains for Baltimore.
That is a ridiculous play by Lloyd Graham, who's in the chat, all caps. Let's go. Outside to Irvin. past the 40 to the 43, a 5-yard pickup with under 5 to go in the first half. Are you a next-level SFL fan? Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player and to join our community. Check out League Leaders. We've got stats from all 17 seasons of SFL action and track games, season, and career numbers of all the players over time who have gone from couch to field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. 2nd and 5 at the 43-yard line. This is Wigmore firing it outside. And speaking of not having hands, that's the second tight end, DeAndre Mitchell, on this roster. Not as good as Lloyd. 3rd down.
No, but interesting to see the passing attack coming alive here, even at 22 personnel with 2 running backs and 2 tight ends. Wigmore still going back and trying to find DeAndre Mitchell. Baltimore's already put the WAD ad out. They want a second tight end, and now you can see why.
Wigmore 16 of 20, but for just 78 yards. They have tried not to turn the football over today, although they have 2 fumbles. And Daley Holder, wide open on a go route out of the slot, gets the first down to the Florida 41-yard line. He has had a great first half, leads the receiving corps with 4 receptions.
Yeah, 1 catch all of last week against Mexico City. Has 4 here in the first half. And that's a great ball, a little high from Wigmore. And Holder taking a little bit of punishment from the free safety, Ryan Tobin. I think Holder's happy to get a little bit of punishment as long as Wigmore keeps getting him the football.
Has caught the football on all 4 of his targets. Now 1 man in the backfield, that's Hazard. Again against a nickel look here for Florida. Wigmore going to throw again out to Hazard. Hazard dropped the football. He was hearing the footsteps. Adam Jones gave him alligator arms for an incompletion.
Yeah, tough angle there for Jimmy Hazard. It would have had to turn around almost 180 degrees to face that football, to catch it. Usually when you throw that ball, you want to get it over the front shoulder. So the running back just has to look back and catch that ball. Didn't quite have the angle there, and I'm not sure if that was the route by Hazard or the throw by Wigmore.
2nd down and 10 at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Hazard, now running right. Jimmy Hazard just could not get outside. Picked up a few, but held up behind Kirk Lawrence, the guard. And Hazard just couldn't find a crease.
Yeah, Lawrence and Troy Gaines both had a great block there in the front, Florida front 4. And Hazard just thought he could bulldoze his way through. You saw the legs continuing to churn, but it didn't quite happen. One of the 4 spin moves he had earlier in this drive, he should have saved one for that instance right there.
5 wide man coverage, middle of the field is wide open. Wigmore is going to go to the slot man, but short of the first down. And I think that's exactly what Florida was hoping out of that play. A Wigmore check down to Gus Woods ends the drive, and I don't know if they're in Tarkington's range or not.
It's going to be about 52 yards.
Oh, they're not going to kick it.
No, not even going to try it. Pablo Gates. A rare Pablo Gates sighting. Did not even see the field in the semifinal game against Mexico City. Going to punt it away.
Oh, they almost got there. I can't believe nobody got a finger on that. And what a play on special teams! Down at the 5-yard line, Felix, Maryland, salute to state. And Florida's backed up deep.
Tremendous play. Pablo Gates had a punt earlier in the game. The last time Pablo Gates had 2 punts returned was in week 10 against Carolina. And so for him to step out and then pop a beauty right there inside the 5, that's absolutely tremendous. A great special teams play for Baltimore when they really needed it.
Florida starting deep in their own territory, but they do have an 11-point lead. Valetsky keeps the legs churning forward, picks up 3. Alvin Mack and Keenan Samuels on the tackle.
And I think if you're Florida here, Cam, all you want to do is just eat the rest of this 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Bounce on my checkbook over here. 2.5 minutes of game clock. Don't give Baltimore a chance to get back on the field. They go into the half with an 11-point lead.
We each get one in the first half. Valetsky, loss of 2. Will set up a 3rd down and 8. Nice stop in the backfield. Both teams forcing, as Al Walker makes the tackle, both teams forcing plenty of negative plays. That's the 3rd negative play for Florida's offense in the first half.
Yeah, and Valetsky does not have a lot of those. Baltimore making it happen.
And that's the 2-minute warning. Florida 14, Baltimore 3. The Storm are backed up. Baltimore trying to get off the field. When we come back, you're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports and For the Fans.
All right.
Hey, Cam, thank you. Just a quick update from Florida as we approach the halftime mark here. Again, not able to get the first down here on third down, but...
Go ahead, Tyler.
But at the same time, they're still calm. They need to contain the deep pass, and they've done that pretty effectively, I might say. They're looking to do that when they come out of the break here in the second half.
Thank you, Tyler, for the report. 4th and 9 at the 6. Marcus Agrippa bleeding the clock here. We know how explosive this Baltimore offense can be. Trying to take as much time off as possible as Bolt takes a lick from Hernandez on special teams. So this is probably the Vultures' best opportunity they've had in a while in terms of starting field position, Josh, to make something happen.
It is their best starting field position. Before this, they started one on the 46-yard line after the Frank Smith interception. Troy Gaines fumbled that on the very first play. Hopefully they can do a little bit better here with 1:13 remaining.
3 receivers set for the Vultures, down 14-3, a mostly defensive first half of the championship game, which is pretty typical. These teams know each other extremely well. T. Roy Gaines with a catch, picks up 6 yards out to the 34-yard line. Ryan Tobin on the tackle. Now no huddle for Baltimore with under a minute to go. They'll dump it off to Hazard. Got some space. Hazard makes a man miss. Did not get out of bounds. Tackle made by Hammer. That is his 8th solo tackle of the first half. 48 seconds to go. Still all 3 timeouts for the Vultures, but they are moving now in scoring position. Down 11. The home side and the favorite. Pass is caught. Mac Chima, first down. They call a timeout.
Mac Chima, I don't know how he got open here. And it looked like everybody else was trying to play Ivory Irvin. It's all double coverage there. And Chima exploiting the opportunity with him and Irvin both on the same side of the field, running a post route. Gets Baltimore another first down. They stop the clock.
2 backs and 2 receivers for Baltimore. Down to 38 seconds to go. Irvin runs a little short route, picks up 6, did not get out of bounds. Ball's at the 10. Tackle made by Adam Jones. Quickly to the line. Wigmore dumped a backwards pass to Hazard. That goes for no gain, and Baltimore has to call another timeout. A very risky play there by Wigmore, who's now thrown 27 passes in the first half alone.
Yeah, and Hazard really didn't have an opportunity to do much with that. And fortunately, he caught the ball, because if he had not, that would have been live. That would have been a fumble, and Florida would have had an opportunity to run that back.
3rd and 4 from the 10. Baltimore is 6 for 9 on third downs in the first half. They have 9 first downs to Florida's 4, yet trail by 11. Irvin is short. Had to go back for the football, and his momentum carried him out of bounds. I think even inches is a generous spot. Baltimore's got a big decision here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought he was a yard or maybe even 2 yards short. I think if you're Baltimore here, you got a great opportunity. 20 seconds left. Even if you don't get it, Florida doesn't have enough time to get down the field. It looks like they're going to kick it.
23-yard field goal for Tarkington. His first was a chip shot, too. 2 red zone stops that did not end in touchdowns for the Vultures. That could be critical here at the end of this ball game. The snap is poor, but really no pressure on Tarkington at all. It's like Florida took the play off, knowing that Shark was going to make it. It makes it 14-6 with 16 seconds to go in the first half.
It looked like Florida was expecting a quicker snap. You saw a bunch of the defensive linemen jump when they thought the ball was going to come, and then the kick didn't come until about a second or a second and a half later. I'm with you, Cam. I'm surprised that wasn't blocked.
Florida 24 offensive plays in the first half. Baltimore 40. And after Hazard's blistering start, he's quieted down after largely being ineffective in the first half. Blackwell returns it up to the 23-yard line. And that's where Florida will send up to likely run out the clock. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Eric Vincent, Mike St. Green, and Damon Simeon will break down the first half between the Storm and the Vultures and provide the keys to the second half. Plus, a special guest may be stopping by for a cameo. It all comes your way next on the APM Music Halftime Report.
Is that a hint? Cameo?
Oh no, not me.
Cameo? Oh.
But nicely done. As Minson picks up 7, his first catch since his 27-yard touchdown very early in this ball game.
Yeah, for both teams, we've seen both quarterbacks easing their wide receivers into the game, with the exception of Daley Holder, who has 4 catches. Stephen Bush, only 1 catch. Minson hits his second catch right there, as you said. And Blackwell, who does not get a lot of volume, has yet to make the stat sheet, at least on the offensive side.
2 deep safeties here for the Vultures. Man coverage up front, nearly an interception. That would have put Baltimore in field goal range. Cochran very fortunate there.
And this is a spot where I'd rather see them throw the ball down the field, because if it does get intercepted, it's more like an arm punt. But if you get picked off there, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, you're giving Tarkington another chance here to make it a 5-point game.
It's Baltimore offense that averaged 38 points in scoring in the SFL this regular season. Best in the league, has 6 in the first half. And Florida ends up getting a timeout. A 3-second slant pattern to Zarkov, and they'll get one more play.
Yeah, you mentioned Baltimore scoring only once in the regular season. Did they score fewer than 30 points? And that was in that Week 12 finale against the London Knights. They needed that play to get it. They needed that game, that win, to get into the playoffs, and they got it. They held serve at home and gave Baltimore their only loss of the regular season.
Baltimore, according to Jack's data, wins over 90% of their games when they score over 30. So the best way to beat Baltimore is to figure out how to shut down their offense. There's an obvious reason why they're 13-1. It's pretty hard to do. 1 second to go as Cochran will fire it over the middle of the field. The pass is tipped up in the air and incomplete again. A dangerous throw from Ron Cochran, and that ends the first half. Florida 14 and Baltimore 6. When we come back, the APM Music Halftime Report with Eric, Mike, and Demond back at SFL Studios. Florida up 8 at the end of the half. You're watching the SFL 17 Championship game on Next Level Sports and For the Fans.
Welcome to the SFL Championship Game Halftime Report. Eric Vincent alongside Mike St. Green and Damon Sibian. Welcome back, gentlemen. And this was a puzzling first half, I think, from what we thought we were going to see, specifically from Baltimore. I'll go ahead and I'll kick it over to Mike to start with. What's your reaction to the first half?
Definitely a head scratcher from Baltimore's standpoint offensively, for sure. We're used to seeing these guys sling it all over the field and quick strike offense, and we haven't seen not one sign of that thus far in the first half. So extremely surprising. Is it a case to where, maybe Baltimore, strategically, were trying to take advantage of some things that they thought Florida was going to do, and maybe trying to catch them off guard with a couple of things. But definitely surprising that we've seen this short passing game and not that high flying Baltimore Vultures offense that we're accustomed to.
14-6 your score in favor of the visiting Florida Storm up there in beautiful Baltimore. 55 degrees at kickoff. That's beautiful football weather right there. Demond, what say you as far as the first half goes?
Not what I expected. Let's start off right there. As Mike stated, we're not seeing the explosive Baltimore team that we're normally seeing, as we saw throughout the entire season of the SFL. Even in week 11, they still were, week 12, they still were explosive, although they did lose that game to London. But fumbling on the opening kickoff, that right there is what broke the camel's back in the first half. Also, you got to give heads up to Florida. Florida was like 3rd and 18 after that big sack, that they settled. That they took, and 3rd and 18, they come away with the touchdown on that play there. So kudos to Florida by basically answering, to that sack and getting inside the end zone there. But man, this is not what I expected from Baltimore. They're going heavy dose to the running back. That's not their forte. Their forte is throwing the ball downfield. But as I stated, Florida may be playing quarter defense.
Yeah, and they do have that air raid attack in Baltimore. And we just haven't seen that a whole lot. Ivory Irvin, 4 catches, 18 yards. Mac Chima, 3 catches, 37 yards. We just haven't seen a whole lot of the air raid attack that we're accustomed to seeing from Baltimore. And like you mentioned, that fumbled kickoff just to open things up. That's the difference maker right here. It's a one-possession ball game, but Florida up 14-6. What do you think needs to change going into the second half here? I'll start with Mike. What do you think Baltimore needs to do to kind of get themselves back in the ball game? Because Florida has had all the momentum despite only having a one-possession lead.
Well, do they need to change anything per se? Maybe not, Eric, because the biggest difference in this game thus far are the turnovers. Giovanni Bolt, as Damon just mentioned, fumbled the opening kickoff, but the other points come off of a fumble by Hazard on a big hit by Francis. Eric Hammer recovered that ball, and they ended up getting a touchdown off of a Bullet-Boletsky touchdown run, and so that's where their points have come from thus far in the first half. Baltimore, they lead in time of possession. They lead in total yards offensively, so they are being effective with their game plan. It just surprises us all that's the game plan that they're going with. But I would like to see them open it up a little bit more and become the Baltimore that we are accustomed to seeing. But other than the turnovers, they've really played a solid game defensively, as well as holding down that and moving the ball and controlling the clock offensively.
We all love to see the basketball on grass that we're used to seeing from Baltimore, and we just haven't seen that in the championship game, unfortunately. Damod, what say you, my friend?
I just have to piggyback on Mike. You got to start off with the 2 turnovers that Baltimore gave away, the 2 fumbles, opening kickoff and then the fumble by T-Roy Gaines or so. But Baltimore most definitely, I feel that they need to open it up, open up the playbook, go spread that they've been doing all season long, and just air this thing out. I have seen some opening space in that defense of Florida, and I'm pretty sure that Wigmore has seen it as well. Maybe he's just not confident enough. Maybe the stage is too big for him. I really don't want to say that, but I think they really just got to open up the offense, or maybe it's the coaches holding them back.
I don't think the stage is too big for Wigmore, DeMond.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He does have a ring on his finger. But the one player we do need to hear from, we need to hear from Ivory Irving if Baltimore is going to open it up and be the type of offense that we, like I said, that we used to seeing them run. Ivory Irving's been pretty quiet. I think he only has a couple catches in this game for probably less than 20 yards. We're used to seeing this guy, 9, 10 plus catches and going for over 110 yards, 150 yards more often than not. So I would love to see that for for Baltimore. But hey, Florida, they've done a great job of controlling, the deep ball, and obviously they're ahead. So they want another half just like the last one.
Yeah, these two wide receivers are 1 and 2, in the standings when it comes to wide receivers, and it's just to me, it's just a shame not to see those guys being used as we've normally seen them as a wide receiver.
I was going to say, Damon, we're wide receivers. We want to see those guys get involved.
Irvin and Chima both are the guys that you want to throw the football to for sure. But Wigmore's been looking pretty good, 22 of 27, 124 yards. Unofficially on the stat tracker there. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but he's been calm, cool, and collected coming into it. As you mentioned, Mike, he's already got a ring on his finger. I don't think the stage is too big necessarily for this guy, but it's one of those you gotta narrow down on the mistakes, man. The turnovers will kill you, especially in championship games.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, cut down on the turnovers. Obviously, Wigmore hasn't. That hasn't been his problem, but the team as a whole, cut down on the turnovers, keep doing what you're doing, control the clock, keep that explosive Florida offense off the field that we haven't talked a lot about because Boletsky, last championship game, he went for 114 yards on 12 carries. So, keep Bullet off the field as much as you can. Keep doing what doing what you're doing offensively, control the turnovers, and maybe catch a couple of breaks of your own in the second half, and maybe they can turn it around.
And Boletsky's been held in check virtually, honestly. Only 34 yards on the ground. He did have that touchdown run following the T-Roy Gaines fumble. But overall, he hasn't had a ton of plays where, typical Boletsky plays where he's just streaking down the sideline. So Baltimore has done well in that regard. And Florida, we touched on it to top the show. No interceptions from Wigmore, not a whole lot of pressure on Wigmore. But also, it's been a much different game plan for Baltimore, and maybe that was the mindset coming into this ball game is to get the quick, dink and dunk passes, not necessarily look for the big fireworks play down the field, and that'll avoid the turnovers and avoid the sacks. What do you think, Damon?
Yeah, I mean, the Florida Storm has basically just, taken advantage of the turnovers, that they've gotten off of, Baltimore. And I did take down in my notes that Boletsky on the second scoring drive, he basically was carrying the team on that drive there. So kudos to Florida for basically getting him involved as his first carry came, I want to say, end of the first quarter. And that was on that carry, that was a big hole. I mean, the Red Sea basically poured it there, and he picked up 9 yards on that first carry towards the end of the first quarter there. And then on that scoring drive, Boletsky basically carried the team into the end zone.
Well, guys, not everyone gets to play in the big game. None of us have a ring yet. But while we're here working, at least one member of the SFL has found a way to get off the football field and enjoy the time off while it lasts. Take a look.
What's up, SFL Nation and esports fans? AJ here, just doing a little fishing and watching this exhilarating matchup between the Florida Storm and the Baltimore Vultures. If you're new to the stream, welcome. And if you want to know more about us, from players, coaches, owners, even how to join our league, visit our website at simulationfl.net and check out my show, SFL Nights with AJ Stryker, every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Enjoy the rest of the game. Good luck out there, y'all. Hey, DJ, don't let that fish go. We need to eat tonight.
Always good to see AJ there. We'll send you out to Baltimore for the second half of action. Florida gets the football. You're watching the Simulation Football League Championship game live on Next Level Sports and For the Fans. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the SFL's 17th championship game. Alongside Josh Zirkle, I'm Cameron Irvine. Zach Holdorf and Mark Lopez are great statisticians behind the scenes. Blackwell returns it up to the 24-yard line, and Tyler Falks on the sidelines. He caught up with Baltimore owner Tim Johnston at the half. Tyler?
Thanks, Cam. Like you said, met up with Tim Johnston at the half, and he says to hand a team like Florida 2 extra possessions and 2 shorts field to only be down by 8 points. That's right where they want to be at this point. They'll take it. And I just also spoke with Ivory Irvin. He said, the Florida defense has been a challenge. We just have yet to unlock them.
Thank you, Tyler. We'll check back in with you as the second half goes along for reactions on the sidelines. As Ron Cochran's first pass of the half is caught by Stephen Bush. Nice move by Bush. A 14-yard pickup. Bush just 4 yards on 1 catch in that first half. Another receiver that needs to get going in the second.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing a sort of a natural crescendo here with the Florida passing game. And Stephen Bush, nice run, a nice spin move there. He looks pretty warmed up to me. Now Baltimore, who does have Marvin Hines back. He left the game earlier with an injury. Unable to stop Bush from moving the chains there. That's a first down right out of the gate for the Storm.
Good to see Himes back on the field for Baltimore. Probably a little fortunate to be down just 8 after Florida recovered the opening kickoff and turned that into a touchdown. After that, just 7-6. Intercepted by Ben Stack and Paper. He jumps out of nowhere. Check that. Troy LaShaw jumps out of nowhere to make the interception. Wow, and Baltimore's got the football.
And LaShaw just lurking in the slot, sneaks up, ball's right there. LaShaw, who did not have a PD, a tackle, an INT, did not make the stat sheet in the first half. Second play of the second half, boom, instant turnover, and Baltimore's in plus territory.
2 interceptions for Florida offense, 2 fumbles for Baltimore's offense, and we're even in the turnover category as Wigmore finds a wide open Irvin that's caught for a first down at the 16-yard line, a pickup of 22 yards. And coming into the game, Josh, Florida was plus 8 turnover differential, but Baltimore was plus 20, a big stat in today's game.
Yeah, and obviously the turnovers having a huge impact here. And you see that great ball from Irvin. Also, another receiver who'd been kind of quiet. Had some catches, but not a lot of yardage. Had only, I think, 16 yards in the first half. And now this Baltimore offense having a crescendo of their own.
Our receiving core, Damon Simeon and Mike St. Green, said at halftime they wanted to see the receivers get more looks and open the game up. Irvin now has 40 yards on 5 receptions. This is T. Roy Gaines with his first carry since the fumble. Picks up 6 yards and gets Baltimore down to the 10.
It's nice to see Gaines get back involved in the offense. The running backs do fumble. It does happen. And we hear all about the crazy things that coaches do to try and ingrain the mentality that fumbles are unacceptable, but they are a part of life. And obviously, T-Roy doing a great job of holding on to the ball there.
Split backs for Wigmore. Wigmore fires to the end zone. It is in and out of the hands of Lloyd Graham Jr. A nice hit. Was that Stephen Black with the hit on Graham, as he has some words to say to force third down? Let's see.
Yeah, Graham looks like a great throw right there. The read's
Tobin
there. Yeah, Ryan Tobin coming down from free safety, playing that deep half, patrolling that goal line. Saying to Lloyd Graham Jr., no, sir.
Helmet on football. Baltimore's 6 for 10 on third down, but this is where they have struggled today in the red zone. They have settled for 2 chip shot field goals for Tarkington, 1 from this exact distance, 27 yards away, and the first from 30. Bunch set to the left for Baltimore against what appears to be a zone against nickel. That's Wigmore to the end zone. That is a horrible pass, his worst of the day. That ball looked weird from the start coming out of his hand, and Tarkington has to settle for another 3 points.
Yeah, and it didn't look like Wigmore was under a lot of pressure, at least from our vantage point. He might have been feeling something that we did not see. But when he let go of that ball, it's really tough to tell where he was going for. Graham making a diving effort at it. But it looks like it's going to be another settling of the field goal here for the Baltimore offense.
Tarkington, another 27-yard easy-peasy kick. Snap much better this time around, and that kick is up and good. Made 31 field goals this season. That was most of any kicker in the SFL. That's an average of about 2.5 per game. Baltimore gets ever closer, a 5-point ball game now, and we're way under the over-under if you took the over on this day.
If you're Baltimore, though, Cam, if you have what is probably the greatest offense in the SFL, not only this year, but maybe of all time, you don't need to force it. Maybe you don't need to take any chances. And yes, you have the horses to do it, but you also have another quarter and a half, well over that, to go head-to-head and even out the game on your own and eventually take the lead. It's probably the mentality there for Baltimore.
And your defense is playing pretty well, too.
Yes.
For Florida, I mean, they've had one drive over 20 yards today. That was the 2-yard rushing touchdown by Boletsky when he had 24 of the 47 yards on a 9-play drive. But other than that, Florida's offense has kind of been either spinning in mud or taking advantage of great field position. They really have not shown they can drive the length of the field as Boletsky takes it right-hand side and Stacking Paper makes the tackle. 34 yards on 12 carries now for Charlie.
You see, that's not terribly efficient numbers. It's certainly not by Boletsky standards. And in the first half of general, 14 carries, did have the touchdown, but 14 touches, carries and receptions for just 26 yards, not even 2 yards a pop.
These defenses have done a great job on both of these high-powered offenses. Both teams average over 30 points a game because they do things like that. E.J. Minson with the catch and a first down to the Baltimore 45-yard line. Cochran going over the top, now over 100 yards.
And it was just a matter of time before we saw some fireworks out of one of these quarterbacks. And it's just Minson sees the 9 route and then sees Giovanni Bolt and then makes a little move there to get the ball on the outside shoulder. It's a perfect pass from Cochran. Minson just lays out the hands and brings it in.
Brigham looked like he got caught up in the wash there a little bit. Fell behind the play. Minson takes advantage. Cochran now 11 of 16 for 120 yards. Minson's got 61 on 3 grabs. Three-step drop, and that pass intended for Jose Galliano is incomplete. Troy LaShaw is going to win that matchup every time to force second down.
And when you get into these 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, Jose Galliano and even Sylvester Truitt, some folks that are going to show up on the radar, and you think maybe you should throw more to your stars, but sometimes you just trot everybody out there, Cam, and you see who's open, and that's who gets the ball.
3 receivers, 2 to the short side left, split backs for Cochran against a 3-3 defense from Baltimore. They press and they bump, and somebody missed Minson. Minson gets the first down. Bush, or maybe that was Blackwell, top of the screen, fell apart against the block, but Minson's got a first down and 77 yards.
And look at the action. If we see it, we're not going to see it, but Ron Cochran had bodies falling in front of him and unleashed a sidearm pass to Minson that was right on the money, hit Minson in stride. Minson's second big catch of the drive.
Cochran now 12 of 18 for 135 yards, has those 2 interceptions, but his defense is held firm. Boletsky spins right into a buzzsaw. LaShaw making the play after a 5-yard pickup.
And really one of his better pickups of the afternoon. And gets his team into a manageable second and medium here. Florida, who benefit all their 14 points so far off of turnovers, Cam. So far they're doing it the dirty way now, trying to go coast to coast down the field from starting on their own 27.
2 in the backfield, 8 in the box. They hand it off to Boletsky anyway. And he picks up 3 yards to the 22-yard line. Tackle at the end of the play made by Alvin Mack is 4th.
And we'll see what Florida decides to do here. Do they want to set up an Ethan Snead field goal and make it an 8-point game again? Or maybe push it a little bit. Boletsky has not been super efficient. He has ripped off a big run, 14-yard, his biggest so far.
3rd and 2, and not going to go anywhere. Nate Brown, another tackle. That's his 2nd in the backfield, his 4th of the game. Having an impressive afternoon, will force an Ethan Snead field goal for the first time today.
And Nate Brown had that sack on the opening drive. He's played an outstanding. This is a Baltimore front 4, as a matter of fact. Brown, Walker, Lewis, and Saron Yates, the 4th, the blockbuster, all playing great so far. And Florida's going to have to settle for 3.
Oh, that almost was blocked. I'm surprised Snead was able to complete the kick and the follow-through, but Snead puts it in, and we've exchanged field goals to start the second half.
An 8-point game once again. I'm surprised that Snead got that through. But you see it sail pretty as a picture. And Snead, another guy with impressive accuracy, 25 of 26 during the regular season. 110 of 112 for his career. These are guys who know how to get it done on special teams.
Snead will boot it away. Back to an 8-point lead. It was 14-6 at the break. Both teams have started the second half with a field goal on the board. Bolt gets a couple of blocks, but all in all has been shut down today. Gets it up to the 24-yard line. And we will welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm your play-by-play commentator, SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Just want to thank everybody out there for supporting the Simulation Football League all season long. Our 18th season kicks off January 15th. And we're going to be happy to see all of you back out there after the holidays. And we hope your family is safe, happy, and healthy from all of the craziness out there in the world as Wigmore's pass is caught by Holder. Holder near a first down and now has 5 receptions.
Impressive afternoon. But what we made the point earlier in the game, Cam, you've got Ivory Irvin and Mac Chima on either side of this Baltimore offense. You've got to give them special attention, and that opens up opportunities. And I think Daley Holder has made the most of those 5 catches on the afternoon.
Sidecar left is Hazard, going to go out in a passing pattern. Doesn't even look that direction. And a heck of a swat down by Stephen Black. He knew it right away. And it brings up 3rd and short. Hazard was wide open.
He was. I mean, Stephen Black maybe doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes for his pass defense. Has 10 passes deflected on the season. It had one last week in the semifinal game against Arizona. Doing a nice job there, knocking it away on 2nd and inches.
Split backs now for Wigmore. Hard count, handoff, gains, and just did get the first down. Eric Hammer, yet another tackle. Him and Adam Jones balling out. Jones had 10 total tackles in the first half alone as the slot corner.
Yeah, Jones, this whole Florida secondary, it's very busy. And I think their defense has done a nice job of putting them out in situations where all 5 of them could be on the field at the same time. We've seen only 5 or 6 in the box. And part of that is to get that Florida Storm personnel out on the field.
Wigmore over the middle, wide open. It's Holder again. They are really exposing that short middle. They like the matchup with Holder on the linebackers. And once more, Holder gets 9.5 yards.
Catch number 6 for the 9th-year veteran, his 7th season in Baltimore. Daley Holder trying to make a name for himself, was on special teams at one point in the season. Now the number 3 wide receiver.
Jimmy Hazard, first down to the 48-yard line, up the gut. And you just get the sense that Baltimore's offense is having a much more effective second half here. They're really moving the ball.
Yeah, somewhere in the Baltimore locker room is a giant volume knob. And you see Tim Johnston just turning that knob up and up and up. And Baltimore really starting to find their footing here on the offensive side. They haven't found the end zone yet. Can they do it on this drive?
Great block by T-Roy Gaines on Stephen Black as well. Nice camera angle to boot. 2 in the backfield for Baltimore. They're going to hand it off to Hazard. Getting Hazard back involved. Spins. And Hazard picks up 7 again. Tackle by Hammer. Another tackle. Eric Hammer having himself a day.
And Hazard, 19 touches right now on the game. 18 or 19. It's almost hard to keep it all straight. He's getting the ball so often. And they are corralling him, but not until he's getting 5 or sometimes 6 yards from scrimmage.
3 passes, 3 runs on this drive. Now the 7th play of the drive. Hazard, spin to the outside, first down. Gets it out to the 30-yard line for a move of the chains.
And this is the beauty of what you can do in an offense when you can make the first guy miss. Wigmore right on the money there, whoop, and makes Eric Hammer tackle nothing but air. And Jimmy Hazard's got himself a first down. Baltimore about to do some business here as they approach the red zone.
You see our drive summary there at the bottom of the screen now. 7 plays, 45 yards. Our awesome stat crew making this all possible. Mark Lopez, Zach Holdorf. Great job, guys. Jack Wigmore fires it deep. It is incomplete. Irvin, the intended receiver, now just 5 grabs on 9 targets. I didn't get a look who popped that football out, but an incredible hit. Maybe an even better pass, but falls incomplete.
Yeah, you could take a guess on whoever that was because there were 3 white jerseys there, so your probability is pretty good. Your grandma's never been able to thread a needle like that. I'm not sure why Jack Wigmore thinks he could do it from 30 yards away in triple coverage.
2nd and 10 at the 30. I'm glad you made my grandmother a part of the broadcast. She would really appreciate that. That pass is knocked away and brings up 3rd and 10. Ryan Davidson's had some nice coverage out there. And Mac Chima's another name, that we haven't heard a lot of. 3 catches, 37 yards, 4 targets. I mean, these Florida corners doing a nice job. Daley Holder's been the mismatch.
Yeah, they really have. And I think that is the way you go. You got to make Daley Holder be the guy that beats you, especially when Irvin and Chima both went off for 200 yards each last week against Mexico City.
3rd down and 10 at the 30, 4 wide, 2 to either side. Wigmore fires. Lloyd Graham, first down to the 16-yard line, a 14-yard pickup. That's his longest reception of the day, and it moves the chains, and here we go, back in the Florida red zone.
Yeah, and another monster drive for Baltimore. That was play number 10. And Wigmore doing a nice job. Throws a little bit behind Graham, but he's able to make the adjustment. And remember in the first quarter there, Cam, Baltimore had that 16-play drive, but they weren't able to find the end zone there. Had to settle for a 30-yard field goal. Can they find pay dirt this time?
11th play of the drive, 3 for 6 for 32 yards through the air, 27 on the ground. Wigmore's going to the end zone, wide open, touchdown! Daley Holder again, and it's a 2-point game.
Daley Holder, the man of the hour right now. Baltimore reaching the promised land for the first time. And DR Sims sitting in the studio, let's say it, into Hollywood Boulevard. A great pass from Wigmore, right on the money. Holder doing a great job of beating the defense. Baltimore has a chance to tie it if they go for 2, Cam. What do you think?
And it looks like they are going to go for 2. And knowing Damon Simeon, he's going to be all over you for that. You can expect some papers, sir.
I got a royalty check right here. He just needs to fill it out.
Wigmore for the tie. Knocked away. Ryan Davidson again. And it's still a Florida advantage. Davidson been phenomenal here on this near sideline.
Yeah, outstanding. I don't know if I like the play call there. You got a one-on-one. If you get a matchup that you like, then I say go ahead and let it rip. To me, that matchup would not involve Ryan Davidson.
Not the worst play call in the world if you're Florida. At least something went into the end zone, but Davidson all over the play. The Storm still protecting that lead. Blackwell on the return barely gets out past the 20 and will settle down at the 22-yard line to set up Ron Cochran and this offense that scored a 39-yard field goal on their last drive, an 8-play, 51-yard drive, their second of the first half. Still getting outgained in terms of offensive plays, 56-38. Baltimore's got 5 more first downs than Florida. Florida's just 3 for 7 on 3rd down. Cochran fires it inside, caught by Zarkov. Picks up 8 to the 30. It's the updated quarterback numbers.
And Cochran also doing a bit better job as the game goes on of spreading the ball around. Justice Blackwell, the only wide receiver right now without a catch. He does have a target. Paulie Truth, who came alive a little bit last week with 4 catches, also yet to see the stat sheet.
3 receivers. Zarkov's off the left of the line, runs a post down the middle. That pass is incomplete. Austin Brigham doing his own job of his own. Look at Coach Johnston there on the sideline. We saw Ross Napoli dancing last night, Josh, and we were trying to watch it in the replay. Go see the Sim Pod on Twitter. They actually got the clip of him. What'd they say? Jiving on the sideline. So you never know what you're going to see.
Sim Pod, they don't miss anything.
They don't miss anything. You're right. Well, they were watching Doug Brown sitting on the sideline, too. 3rd and 2. Boletsky not going to get there.
Wow.
And plugging the middle is Alvin Mack with his 4th tackle. And this is dangerous territory for Florida. You can feel Baltimore starting to pick up some momentum.
And that is the 3rd 3-and-out that the Baltimore defense has forced upon Florida. And Marcus Agrippa, who's usually got a little bit more a shorter field to kick toward, going to try and do his best to flip the field here.
He's only averaging 36 yards a punt right now. This is a boomer, though, out to the 28-yard line. Bolt makes a man miss and will set the net a little lower. And that gives Baltimore a first down to the 33-yard line with 1:03 to go.
Yeah, and I tried to put in a requisition order to get the Rick meter out here to Baltimore for the game. And I don't have that available, but I would say right now I'd be leaning Baltimore at this point. The defense looked good. Daly Holder just got Baltimore to the end zone, and now they're coming back on the field for another drive. No wide receivers here for this play, Cam.
And off to Jimmy Hazard. And Hazard picks up 41 yards on 11 carries. Of course, the Northrops called a epic quarterfinal between Florida and Charleston, a game that the Storm won 17-14, a very similar score. They are always a fun group. Family-friendly SFL atmosphere, and on the note of family, we wish all the best to the Hall family in the SFL who had a death in the family this week, and we hope and pray that everyone can get through the trying time. And as Davidson knocks it away to set up a 3rd down and 7, we wish the Halls all the best, and we'll be here with open arms when they return.
Absolutely, and of course Tyler, who works with Kendra Hall, Nate's wife on NETMA, certainly part of that extended family, if you will, as well. Nothing but thoughts and prayers out for them.
Davidson with another pass deflection. That's now unofficially 2. I think he may have 3 or 4. It seems like 10 at this point. 3rd and 7. Baltimore started. Yes, Baltimore started 6 for 9 on 3rd down. They're 2 for 4 since. This is their 59th play of the ball game. Empty backfield, 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore going long, and it is intercepted on the outside by Evan Carroll in the all-blue sleeves. Wigmore tested the Florida secondary deep really for one of the first times today, and he pays the price.
And it was just a matter of time before Evan Carroll made his presence felt. 60 interceptions all time. You can make it 61 now. Carroll getting a one-on-one ball from Ivory Irvin. Probably a little frustration there. Ivory Irvin still waiting for that big signature catch. Only 5 receptions on 10 targets so far. Evan Carroll takes it away.
Yeah, that's a heck of a job. I mean, when Irvin's only catching 50% of his passes. In comparison, Holder has caught all 8 of his targets. Beletsky picks up 2, and that'll probably be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
And this is what Florida needed. A little shot in the arm, a little jolt. And the turnovers of where they have thrived, they've really been able to capitalize on those. 14 of their 17 points coming from those free possessions.
The 3rd turnover of the game for Baltimore. The first, Jack Wigmore, interception. End of the 3rd quarter, put your 4s. And 86 is up in the chat. We miss you, Rich. 17-15, Florida leads Baltimore. You're watching the SFL Championship game presented by APN Music on Next Level Sports and for the fans. Start of the fourth quarter here in Baltimore, 17-15. A champion will be crowned in 11 minutes of game time. 2nd and 8. Florida hands it off to Bullet Boletsky. Picks up 2. Will set up a 3rd down and 6. The Storm have really struggled. 3 for 8 today on 3rd down at 37.5%, way below their season average.
And this is partly why they've been in these 3rd and long situations. And Boletsky has not had the pop that he is used to having. 21 touches so far. And normally that would put him near 100 yards. Here, not even close. Probably in the 60 to 65 yard range.
62, right on the money, Josh. 3rd down and 6. Play action. First time today we've seen that play. And it's picked off. Intercepted by Alvin Mack, who has a pass deflection already in the game. But Florida's Ron Cochran has gotten sloppy with the football. Both teams really have, as the pass was intended for Bush, and Baltimore will take over.
And Bush was bracketed over the top, so I think Cochran was trying to put the ball underneath, and Alvin Mack, who was playing in that hook zone, took that away really quickly, and now Baltimore gets the ball back.
Both defenses outstanding, and to force Florida to be 3rd and 9 on 3rd down is something special, as Wigmore fires it near side, caught. Ivory Irvin, 1st down to the 40, his 6th grab of the day for 53 yards. And, you know, Baltimore's offense gets a lot of credit, Josh, but defense, they're pretty underrated.
No, absolutely. And partly because Wigmore has had such a fantastic season. And a lot of times when you're talking about great football teams, the conversation starts with the quarterback, and unfortunately it sometimes ends with the quarterback as well. But this Baltimore defense, 46 takeaways, leading the SFL, allowing only 81 rushing yards a game in the regular season. That was a top 10 statistic, and only 22 points a game. I mean, this Baltimore defense has gotten it done.
Wigmore, Holder, 1st down to the 28. I'm not sure that Florida has an answer right now for Daley Holder. He's approaching 100 yards. Another Baltimore 1st down. They're up to 15.
Yeah, for 3 quarters, we have seen Daley Holder exploit what this Florida defense is able to do. They've been giving so much attention to Chima and Ivory Irvin. It looks like they're trying to start to get Irvin going, but they didn't forget about Daley Holder.
Wigmore's pass is caught. Nice grab by Hazard. If he drops that, that's potential pick 6 territory, and that's an important 3-yard gain.
And now look at the field position here, Cam, at the 26. Baltimore can't take the lead with a field goal here. It'll be interesting to keep that in mind as we go through this drive, especially now with only one wide receiver, Ivory Irvin, at the top of your screen on the field.
2nd and 7 at the 26. They run Hazard strong side, and Florida just buries them in the backfield. I have not seen that many players, as Adam Jones makes yet another tackle, in the backfield on a heavy set like that, I think, all season.
And a lot of times is when you have the heavies out there, but Florida still has their nickel or dime personnel, they're able to get to the point of attack faster than those guys that you're using to block.
3rd and 9, deep shot for Irvin is knocked away. Evan Carroll with the swat down. Unbelievable defense, and another field goal for Baltimore, but this time it can give them the lead.
And Tarkington now will attempt one from probably in the 44-yard range. This would be his longest attempt of the day. He's 3 for 3, but has not kicked one from more than 30 yards away.
$43-yard attempt. Shark Tarkington for the Baltimore lead. That kick is good. So from that standpoint, the Vultures in a very odd 18-17 score on Tarkington's 4th made field goal takes a 1-point lead. We'll be back after this. And Josh, what are you going to do if they leave?
I will find you.
We'll be right back after this. with 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. Baltimore is up on Florida 18-17. And Justice Blackwell will return this out to just the 20-yard line. Let's go down to Tyler Falk on the sideline. Found a new friend down there.
Well, old friend, new friend. Buck makes his championship debut, as his commentary debut, as he likes to mess with my tie. But I just want to mention that again, if you haven't looked at the ticker down at the bottom of your screen, both sets of ownership groups are looking for championship number 4 for Baltimore. It's with multiple different franchises, with the Minneapolis Maulers. For Mighty, he's looking for number 4 for the Alaska and Florida franchise.
And off to Boletsky. Very patient. Nice run. Thank you, Tyler, for the report. And your friend, 13-yard pickup for Boletsky, first down.
Was that a cat?
Yeah, you got all sorts of things wandering around here in Baltimore.
It looked like a woodland domestic or undomestic animal, like a raccoon, like a nightshade raccoon.
We'll get the DNA evidence from Tyler on the next report.
If he says it's a cat, I'll take his word for it. I'm just saying.
8 minutes to go in the fourth. 18-17. What a wacky score. Baltimore with a failed 2-point conversion, 4 field goals and a touchdown. Florida's done it the more traditional route. This is Minson picking up 9. And this is what Florida has not done well consistently that Baltimore has. First down offense, and Florida gets a big chunk there, and that's really going to help them move.
Yeah, it is. Now 2nd and 1, playbook wide open here. I'm not sure I'd want to take a shot down the field by any stretch. Not on this Baltimore secondary, but it does expand your options.
Short throw, Pauly Truth, right off his shoulder pad. He turned around to look for the ball, and I'm not sure if Cochran just threw it too early or what. Nate Brown in the vicinity, but that was Truth's moment to make an impact in the title game.
Yeah, just Cochran, one-step drop, and just the ball's out. The Truth did not quite get his head whipped around in time and deflected into the air. Baltimore had a chance to come down with it, fortunately for Florida, incomplete.
That is a very ironic thing to happen to Florida. We'll get to that here momentarily. 3rd down and 1. Cochran is going long, and a jump ball is picked by Bolt. Past midfield. Giovanni's got some blocks, gets out of the Florida 44-yard line. Last season, Josh, their second tight end, who was a non-contract player, dropped a critical pass that could have put the game away for Florida and gotten a victory. Now they signed Pauly Truth this offseason. He drops that, and then Giovanni Bolt on the ensuing play gets the interception. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I don't know if Cochran didn't see Bolt at all. That Zarkov on the 9 route, he just blew by everybody except Giovanni Bolt, who stepped right in front of it just in time. And just what I said, Cochran shouldn't be tested in the secondary. Baltimore comes away with the football. They're going to start in plus territory.
Cochran's got 4 interceptions. It has been a rough title game for him. Deep ball wide open. Lloyd Graham Jr. and Baltimore has busted the can open. They're up 7.
And just like that, out of the bunch set, Graham Jr. gets Stephen Black. That's the matchup you want. Graham gets it. He's gone. There's nobody there to get him. Unbelievable.
7-11. Oh, thank heaven for Baltimore's fans. That's what they're saying. After the Vultures get a touchdown and cap a very long drive. Josh, one play, 44 yards. The touchdown to Graham Jr. and the extra point will make it an 8-point game, and that is good. 25-17. The Vultures had not led in this entire game, and just a moment ago got the Tarkington field goal to put them up, and now they're up 8.
And it's still a 1-score game for Florida. Ron Cochran right now, and that Florida offense has been gradually easing their foot onto the gas, trying to get that offense going, trying to get a little looser as they throw the ball downfield, have their plans shattered in a span of 2 plays. The Giovanni Bolt INT, and then Baltimore does exactly what they were trying to do with the long Lloyd Graham Jr. catch and run for the touchdown.
Bullet Boletsky in the FTF Twitch chat saying this is a championship drive offense. Let's go. And I agree with Charlie. I think it's Boletsky's time here. I know that he's only got 3.2 yards a carry, but you can't just keep throwing interceptions, and Boletsky has shown flashes of brilliance.
And you got to consider the other side of the ball, too. Baltimore's had a 16-play drive and an 11-play drive. If you lose the ball here, you may not get it back.
Cochran against man coverage, and nothing's open. Instead, had to dump it off to Sylvester Truitt, his first target. Stephen Bush only has 2 grabs for 18 yards. Blackwell doesn't have a catch. Truth doesn't have a catch. I mean, it's been Baltimore's defense winning this game here today. Second down.
We might be starting to see the press. Ron Cochran trying to force things that aren't quite available, that aren't really there. And this front four for Baltimore is not going to do him any favors. He's not going to have a time to ponder his possibilities. You got to get the ball out.
7 in the box. Cochran has to hurry up and throw it. It's knocked away by Brigham. Nobody's open. Now it's 3rd down and 10. And I'm with you, Josh. Florida seems to be panicking a little bit here when I don't really think that they need to.
Yeah, you can almost feel it in the air. Less than 7 minutes to go. Plenty of time. But now it's in a 3rd and long situation. Charlie Boletsky, he's got a lot of volume. He hasn't been effective, especially not to the tune of 10 yards. You need a special play, and you need it right here.
3rd down and 10 at the 25 for Cochran. Cochran fires down the middle. Caught. First down. Barrett and Zarkov. That's his 5th grab. Him and Minson each now with a handful of receptions today, and that was a critical 3rd down chain movement.
And that looked really similar to the ball that's intercepted on, actually going up the right hash and then breaking off on sort of a post route against Frank Smith. Got the matchup he wanted and then got separation. And Zarkov, who is good for 1 or 2 of those big chunk plays every game, comes up with one there.
That was the first 3rd down conversion in the last 4 drives for Florida. 1st and 10, Cochran going to throw again, this time out to Boletsky. He's got a lot of open space. What a hit! What a hit at the 47-yard line, a 6-yard pickup, but not much more after that. Frank Smith lays him down.
Yeah, and Zarkov had a chance to block Frank Smith, but instead went upfield. They thought Boletsky would be able to make Smith miss. Frank Smith did not miss on that play.
8 total tackles and has the pick as well. 2nd down and 4 for Cochran going to throw again. That pass is caught. Barrett and Zarkov. And I stand corrected. Josh, maybe Florida figures, hey, Ron's a 3-time champion, right? Let's put it on his back. He can shake it off. Let's move this thing.
Well, it certainly gives everyone a little breathing room when you can get out of that 3rd and 10, and then you start ripping off a couple of completions here. The second one to Zarkov there on this drive. It makes everybody breathe a little easier. And Cochran, yes, absolutely, looking like a man of command with Florida now in plus territory.
Baltimore stacking the box. They got 9 in the box. They flip it out to Boletsky. Look at the closing speed. These linebackers are ridiculous. Alvin Mack makes the play on the outside, but a 5-yard gain nonetheless.
That 5-yard gain was actually a 2 or 3 yard gain in the first 2 or 3 quarters of this game. And Boletsky's starting to get loose a little bit as we see A.J. Minson. Does he have a big catch coming up on this drive?
5:08 to go. Florida's down 8. This is a critical drive in Florida's season as Boletsky's going to pick up 3. Smith on another tackle. And it's critical, Josh, because you don't want to end up settling for a field goal. You're kind of in this fringe territory of will they or won't they onside kick. Florida would much rather have a touchdown on this drive.
And you see that clock just evaporating now, less than 5 minutes to play. Is Florida inside the 40-yard line. An end zone strike here would solve a lot of problems.
Cochran on 3rd down and 2. Caught. Zarkov. First down to the 30. How big has Barrett and Zarkov been on this drive? And the clock keeps ticking.
He's been enormous. 3rd big catch, 2nd one for a first down. And as the clock continues to run, Ron Cochran just playing it cool behind that dark visor. No wideouts, only one wideout on the field here. It's E.J. Minson, bottom of your screen.
Standing next to Zarkov. Boletsky, trap play, gets 7. Florida's first down offense continues to move. And again, just 3.2 yards a carry for Boletsky today, but he's looked good all day.
And the blocking right there for Florida looked outstanding. Greg McDonaldson, Joseph Wade getting it done. Boletsky able to get upfield, get into a 2nd and medium here, 2nd and short. Whatever your flavor is in terms of 3 yards. Will Cochran take a shot at the end zone here before he gets into the red zone and things get a little too compacted?
Boletsky, first down on the 10th play of the drive, the longest drive of the day for Florida. gets another first down. Now they're in the Baltimore red zone. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion ties the game.
And Cochran running the 4-minute offense to perfection. And why not with less than 4 minutes remaining in this game? It looks like they're going to go for it here on this drive. It's going to be touchdown or bust.
3 receivers, handoff. It's Nordellis because Boletsky's tired. Loss of 1. 3-10 and counting.
An interesting decision. But if Boletsky's not even out on the field, I think the biggest surprise would have been to give it to the backup running back. But now that puts you in a 2nd and 11. And when Boletsky does come back out, where does that leave you?
Boletsky's still out. 2:50 to go in the 4th quarter. Ball at the 19-yard line, low snap. Cochran fires down the middle of the field. Caught by Polytruth. 9-yard pickup to the 10. Polytruth's first reception of the day. 3rd and 2 at the 10. 2:38 to go. I can feel the tension from the booth.
Now Cochran's got to make a decision here. Do you run or do you pass? Do you have Boletsky available here for 3rd and 2? That by itself is going to have a big factor in what they decide to do. It looks like he's back in.
Boletsky back in on a 3rd down and 2. Cochran fires it in the middle of the field. Incomplete! It's going to be a 4th down. And what do you think, Josh? I think they got to go for this.
Yeah, absolutely. 2:18. You not only need the touchdown, but you need the 2-point conversion as well. The field goal does almost nothing for you because you got to go back down the field and get a touchdown again. You might as well do it while you're sitting here at Baltimore's 10-yard line.
This is it. 66 plays for Baltimore, 62 for Florida. It's almost dead even, and so is the score. 4th and 2. They need about the 7.5-yard line. 3 receivers for Cochran in the pattern. Boletsky goes out. They throw it. It's caught at the 1. First down. It's Justice Blackwell with the first catch of his day.
Unbelievable. Justice Blackwell's been working on special teams, still hadn't brought a ball in, runs the slant there, the coverage goes off of him, so close to the end zone. It's 1st and goal for Florida.
And that is the 2-minute warning. Unbelievable. Florida on a 15-play drive trying to tie the game. When we come back, you're watching the 17th SFL Championship game presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports and for the fans. Don't go anywhere. First and goal at the 1-yard line for Florida. Welcome back to the 17th SFL Championship game, trying to tie it here on the 1. Ron Cochran hands it out to Bullet Boletsky, and Bullet cannot get in. Nate Brown with the stop, and the clock is ticking.
And Boletsky's got to get past that brutal Baltimore front four, to say nothing of the linebackers. They need a touchdown and the 2-point conversion just to get a tie and force this game into overtime.
The 16th play of the drive. 6 runs and 9 passes on this drive. Cochran is now out of the shotgun on 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. 90 seconds and counting for Florida, trying to tie. Cochran out to Boletsky. Touchdown, Florida! What a dime from Ron Cochran over the top of the defense, and a 2-point conversion will tie.
Baltimore loading the box. Pretty sure Boletsky was going to get it between the tackles, and then he sneaks off toward the sideline, and Cochran puts a dime. Austin Brigham was there but couldn't get there in time. And Boletsky trots into the end zone, and now they need the 2-point conversion.
1:26 to go. The 2-point conversion for the tie for Florida. 2 in the backfield, including Boletsky. They're going to hand it to Boletsky, following a fullback, and won't get there. Alvin Mack with the stop in the backfield, and Florida will have to onside kick. They do have all 3 timeouts.
And that could stand to be a TFL for the ages by Alvin Mack. Just unbelievable. Boletsky looked like he had a shot at it until Alvin Mack came flying in and knocked him on his keister. Now here comes the onside kick.
Baltimore recovered an onside kick to come back on Mexico City in the semifinals. Ethan Sneed reverses field and is caught by Marvin Himes, who got hurt on a special teams play earlier in the game. And 1 first down will net Baltimore its 2nd championship and Thomas Paternitti's 4th, which ties an SFL record.
Florida has all 3 timeouts. Minute 25. Wigmore, no wide receivers on the field. 23 personnel, 2 backs, 3 tight ends. They're just going to run it out.
Nickel look, hand off to Gaines. Nothing there. Timeout. Florida, they have 2 left. Now they can pretty much guarantee that Baltimore can run almost nothing off this clock if they can get off the field. The question is where they're going to get off the field. That's critical because Shark Tarkington's got a leg, and a 5-point game and a 2-point game is a big difference.
This would be a 54-yard attempt. And you wonder, would you trot him out for that and risk the miss, giving Florida possession where the ball was spotted?
2nd and 9. Handoff, Hazard running left. Oh, what a play! What a play by Eric Hammer! Cuts him down a half a yard away from the line of scrimmage when it looked like Hazard was going to be getting around the corner. 3rd and 7.
There's a lot of green grass there until Eric Hammer came up and intervened. If Hammer doesn't make that tackle, that had a great chance of being a first down and a nail in the coffin for this game for Baltimore.
Baltimore has failed to convert 4 of their last 6 third downs. Would they dare throw it? They will. 3rd down and 7. They throw it to Holder. He fell. He fell down. The timeout is called by Florida. It will bring out Tarkington for the field goal, but the Storm are going to get Ron Cochran and the offense back on the field for a chance to win it.
That was a 10th catch for Holder, and it could have been the best one. It could have been one to ice the game, but I think he got him enough yards, Cam, to make this a more viable field goal try. Instead of a 54-yarder, we're looking at a 48, maybe even a 47-yarder, absolutely within the range of Shark Tarkington.
1 yard away from a 100-yard day. Daley Holder having the game of his life here in the title game. 48-yarder for Shark Tarkington to make it a 5-point game, and the field goal is money.
Got it.
And that is the most unconventional way to get to 28 points I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. What is it, 1 touchdown and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 field goals? I can't count.
Yeah.
Got it without taking my shoes and socks off.
5 field goals, 2 touchdowns, and a failed 2-point conversion.
And a partridge in a pear tree. It's 28 points, and it's a 5-point lead. And now Baltimore's going to kick it deep, and Florida's got to go coast to coast here.
We've had it all in this one. 1:10 to go in the 4th quarter. Post-game with Eric Vincent, Mike St. Green, and Damon Simeon coming up as soon as we're done here from Baltimore. Justice Blackwell, took a nasty hit at the 21-yard line. And Ron Cochran is forced to go 79 yards. The Hall of Famer, 3-time champion, has had a bit of a rough day, but had his most brilliant drive on the last series. Veridin Zarkov has 6 catches for 49 yards. Minson's been the deep threat, 5 catches for 85 yards. But the longest pass of the day for Florida has been 27. Ron Cochran out of the gun. They are out of timeouts against a 3-2 defense. Cochran, just before he got hit, the pass is a wild one out to Stephen Bush. I thought Bush had caught it for a second. Brings up second down.
Yeah, it kind of looked that way. Baltimore bringing pressure. It looked like Nate Brown, among a few. Somebody got through in that offensive line and made Cochran throw that a second sooner than he wanted to. That could have been bad news for Baltimore if he'd had all the time in the world.
Second and 10 at the 21-yard line. Cochran hit as he threw. It's incomplete. Third down and 10. 1 minute to play. Alvin Mack knocks it away. We got to take a commercial break. The players are going to hate me. 1 minute to go. Third and 10. 28-23 Baltimore. You're watching the 17th SFL Championship game on Next Level Sports and for the fans. Third down and 10 at the 21-yard line for Cochran, trying to keep the Storm championship hopes alive as Ron Cochran's in trouble and he's sacked! And they got to go for it on 4th and 19. Tucker Lewis, just the second sack of the day.
Cochran had nowhere to go. That Baltimore defense applying pressure. Cochran's got to let one go here. Fourth ball game.
And forever. They need the 31-yard line. Cochran, deep! It is caught by Bush! Midfield 40, 30, Bush down to the 27-yard line. Unbelievable!
They're out of timeouts. They got to run up and spike it.
Tyler Falk on the sideline, loving the action. Look at that. It's so authentic. 15 seconds to go in the fourth, and Ron Cochran spikes the football.
You need 5 points. You need a touchdown. That means you've got to find a way to get to the sideline once or twice, and maybe even just take a shot on the first play. You can't fool around, and you can't have a turnover, and you can't complete a ball in the middle of the field and have the clock run out on you.
Second and 10 at the 27-yard line. What are they doing? Are they going Hail Mary here?
This looks like Hail Mary.
Oh, my goodness. Cochran cannot take a sack. Cannot take a sack. Oh, Cochran goes down. They're not going to get back in time. 5, 4, 3, and Baltimore is going to win their second championship. Unbelievable finish. Congratulations to Baltimore for coming back and getting their second title in 3 seasons.
Congratulations to Baltimore, a huge come-from-behind win. They spent 3 or 4 quarters trailing in this game. Got a big field goal from Tarkington, and then Lloyd Graham Jr. with the long touchdown catch and run off the turnover. And that just changed the complexion of this game for both teams. Baltimore felt like they were going to get it done, and finally got the monkey of the Florida Storm off their backs. They are the season 17 champions.
You hate to see that late in the game, but without any timeouts, like you said, Josh, I mean, you're in no man's land if you complete a pass outside of the end zone. And Florida went for the home run ball, and Baltimore's defensive front, Al Walker, Tucker Lewis, Nate Brown, all end up with a sack. Suron Yates IV, who we mentioned not at all day long, who led the league in sacks this season, was held quiet, but the other guys stepped up when they needed to on that last drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other problem with that late Hail Mary attempt is that even if you had been able to complete it, you still have to run everybody back from the other end of the field to run another play. And it was just doomed from the start. And Cochran, the worst of both worlds, taking a sack, and then you wait for everybody else to come back, and there is just no chance that Baltimore front four, especially, they were great all game, but especially in that last drive, Cochran just had nowhere to go.
Well, Florida just simply ran out of time in this one, and at the end of the day, I gotta look at who made that tackle on Stephen Bush, but they saved the game. If Bush breaks that tackle, this game is over.
I think it was Giovanni Bolt. I think it's a foot race between Bolt and Bush for the end zone. And Baltimore won the race, and also the race here. Like you said, Florida just ran out of track, ran out of time. Another 2 minutes would have done them a lot of good.
We'll see that play coming up, and post-game until the top of the hour is coming up as well. Baltimore wins their second in the last 3 seasons, and Florida in back-to-back seasons. Here's the play. Back-to-back seasons will fall in the final minute by a single score, and you're right, it was Bolt. Stack and Paper could not slow him down, and Bolt caught him from behind, and that is about as big of a play as a defender can ever make in their life. Shout out to Bolt. Jack Wigmore, 33 for 46, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 92.8 QBR, is your player of the game. Baltimore, champions in the SFL for the second time in 3 seasons. Post-game comes your way next, but for our broadcast crew, Tyler Falk, Josh Zirkle, Mark Lopez, and Zach Holdorf, I'm Cameron Irvine. Post-game around the corner with Eric, Mike, and Demond. You've been watching the SFL Season 17 Championship game. We're back in 2 minutes.
Great call, Cam.
Live on Discord.
championship game post-game show. Eric Vincent alongside Might Say Green and Damon Simeon. Fellas, what a game. Like, this was one for the ages here. I mean, I know we had a walk-off field goal last year, but come on, man. Like, this had it all. This had it all. Mike St. Green, I'll go with you for your first reaction.
Yeah, Eric, man, look, it's a couple of things you live for when you join this league. One, you look forward to, being in part of the draft and hearing your name called. And the other one you look forward to is participating and being a part of this game, this championship game and championship atmosphere, man. It was great being here watching. It was great watching the game itself. I mean, incredible game. Baltimore, I mean, kudos to Baltimore. They've proven they've been the best team all season long, and they proved it in the second half today. These guys were down 14-6 and had outscored Florida up until they got the late touchdown catch from Baletsky. It outscored them 19-3 in the second half, and a great performance by them to come back and clinch their second championship in the last 3 seasons.
Come on, Simeon. What a game, man. And, man, Baltimore just took over in that second half, man. They just hit another gear.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it came about when I think it was Alvin Mack came away with that interception on Ron Cochran, and Ron Cochran had a total of 4 picks today. That's unlike Ron. And Eric, you stated that when we was talking behind the scenes and so forth, and man, outstanding game by both teams. You got to give it up for both teams. Florida handled their business in the first half, but in the second half they came out a little conservative. Ran Baletsky, I think, a little bit too much. Although Mike, you were stating that they should get Baletsky involved, and I do agree with you. Getting him involved actually helped him on that 15-play drive deep in the fourth quarter there. But I think they got him a little bit too much involved on that drive, which he got tired. The backup had to come in and so forth. But they did score on that drive after getting a big fourth-down play pass to was it Blackwell? I think it was, yeah, but it was Blackwell. They didn't make that big catch there, but man, outstanding performance by Baltimore in the second half to basically come away and win this ball game.
Yeah, and you touched on it, Mike. The fact that Baltimore they went they outscored Florida 22-9 in that second half there, and it was just a masterful performance by the Baltimore Vultures. But both teams, they played a great game. We looked at it and we were kind of scratching our heads a little bit. Okay, what's Baltimore doing? Where are they going with this? A little bit too much of maybe Jimmy Hazard in the first half, but man, they just took over. They took over every bit of the momentum in the second half, and that's what propelled them to victory. And Florida gave their best effort. They were just that maybe a couple plays shy of maybe pulling this thing off, but it was Baltimore's thing to win here at home for their second championship.
Yeah, real quick, that defense did set the tone. They really set the tone for the second half. Troy Loshaw with a big interception, to start that second half that set the tone, and for everything that we saw that came after that.
Come on, Simeon, up against the clock. Final thoughts here.
Final thoughts. You got to give it up to Giovanni Bolt on that touchdown saving tackle when he basically ran down Bush. If he doesn't make that tackle, we're talking about Florida right now as the season 17 SFL champions instead of the Baltimore Vultures. So you got Baltimore owes Giovanni Bolt the game ball of this game, because that play there basically sealed the victory for Baltimore, because that was an outstanding throw by Ron Cochran.
Championship game MVP Jack Wigmore, 33 of 46, 281 through the air, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Congratulations to the Baltimore Vultures on their second championship in franchise history. On behalf of Mike St. Green, Damon Simeon, and everybody down at SFL headquarters, we have had a great championship game here with the Simulation Football League. We'll have to send you off, and we look forward to spring football coming up in January. Thank you for tuning in, folks. We'll see you later.